So, do you think that what you've seen from Aristote's now that he's starting to shoot, because he went the first game and a half without attempting a shot, was it just a matter of he just had to get some confidence? And
For sure, I think he's had to kind of find his way. I mean, all these guys have obviously had moments, in our preparation and our build this off season to get ready for these games, and but unfortunately, you don't get instant results, and so you got to be able to hang with it a little bit and get some experience under the lights. So I expect all of our guys to continue to improve, and so I'm glad Dwayne had a little bit of a breakthrough, and I'm sure other guys are right on the precipice to follow.
Tommy, how would you describe your guys' physicality?
Yeah, I mean, we're really physical. I mean, it's something we really value, and we play to it, and I mean, we talk about playing physical but clean basketball, and and really defining what that is for our guys, and that obviously impacts the boards and the paint, and even the way we pressure the ball defensively. So we want a big part of our identity to be physicality, and we want to be able to go toe to toe against anybody. I mean, that's really important for us.
But Dwayne, are you seeing in practices? Are you seeing him shoot like that, or other things?
He hasn't made a shot in a month.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, he's a good shooter. I mean, I don't know what kind of question that is. Yes, I just said all of our guys have earned their opportunities over the course of the year. He's a really good shooter. He just needed a few games to get comfortable. I don't know what it's going to be like on Friday, but today he was great. I think that's a big step forward for him. He's a really good player.
Can you talk about the progress of Krivas?
Again, Mo's another guy. He's worked really hard. He's a good player. He's gotten better, but you don't get instant results. And this thing isn't about instant results. These seasons are journeys, and you guys hear me talk about it all the time. And having a growth mindset, and Bruce, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck or anything, but these guys work hard. It doesn't come good. Maybe it doesn't come easy right away. You hang with it. I mean, that's the formula. You hang with it. You hang with it, you make a few adjustments, and then you break through. I mean, that's how anything of value in life comes with some struggle. And performance and player development is no different than anything else.
Yeah, I guess what I was wondering with Dwayne is, are you seeing other things from him in practice?
Dwayne's really growing in all areas. Defensively, he's really growing. I think he's getting a better understanding of what we're looking for on offense. Besides making shots, I think he's just got to figure that out a little bit. And I had a very direct conversation with him during the game about what I expected, and you know what, and I'm not taking any credit for it, but whatever was said, he responded to, and it was very impressive the way he did it.
A couple difficult games coming up. The ability to play starters, maybe less minutes than they'll probably be playing the next two games. The benefits of that.
I mean, it's game to game. Game to game, how that is. Obviously, I feel comfortable with that 8-man rotation at this point. Evan, we got him in a little bit earlier today. I wish should have got him in a little bit earlier than we did, but I'm trying to get some other guys some experience. So I feel like we got a really solid 8-man rotation. I think a big part of our guys understanding that rotation is just how do we handle fouls early in the game. And our guys are big and physical, and how's the game going to be called? Can our bigs get through that first media timeout without a foul? Can they get through their first run without a foul? I mean, can our guards, get through that first media timeout without a foul? I mean, because then, basically it becomes a math equation. Now you have 5 fouls for 36 minutes, 5 fouls for 30 minutes, and that impacts, your ability to play, more minutes over the course of a game.
Yvonne, he didn't score today, but 4 assists, 4 rebounds, just his ability to stay with it without...
I mean, Yvonne's a really good player, and, he's going to have his breakthrough in offense. He obviously had his breakthrough. He already had a big game, against Florida on a big stage and played really well. And he's a guy that I expect to contribute in all areas of the game, and he's showing that. And, the baskets are going to come. He's just got to kind of figure out, where and when he's going to find those. And he's opportunistic. He's really smart. He's a great kid. He's a hard worker. So I have no doubts he's going to be, more successful offensively going forward.
How did you feel about the offensive execution flow throughout the game?
I'm okay. Okay. I mean, I thought, Northern Arizona's a scrappy team. Shane's a good friend of mine, and he treated my son really good. So I have a lot of respect for him as a person and a coach. And they fought back a couple times, and our guys could have been a little bit stronger with the ball in certain situations. But I mean, finding rhythm on offense it's a continuing thing. You know, it's something that comes and goes. You don't always have great rhythm. So when you lose your rhythm, you got to figure out how to get it back and what that looks like. Can it be defense to offense? Can it be getting in the bonus, getting free throws? Can it be, you know, putting the ball in a certain guy's hands for a stretch of the game and he makes a bunch of good decisions in a row? I mean, there's lots of ways to do it, but it's something, you know, we got to be mindful of. We definitely don't take it for granted.
What does Krivas mean to what you want to do defensively? How important is it?
I mean, you know, all of our bigs are always important defensively, but, you know, Mo has great size. You know, I think he's really growing as a paint protector defensively. You know, he may not be, Ralph Sampson, you know, or, you know, Dikembe Mutombo, you know, blocking shots, but he's starting to impact the game around the rim, and that's something we've really encouraged him to get better at. So I'm really happy with him. His ball screen coverages seem to be getting a little bit better. You know, his effort and attention to detail in those matter, and I'm definitely seeing improvement. So I think it's trending in the right direction.
Bill and Bryce weren't in. Were you planning to redshirt them?
I mean, obviously, you know, redshirting's on the table for both of them. No final decisions have been made, but you know, it's tough. You know, it puts you in a tough situation. You know, you play Bryce in a game like this for 3 minutes, it burns a year of eligibility. I mean, I wish it was easier. I wish there was, you know, a set number of games you could play a guy like they have in football. I think that would make a lot of sense, you know, for some of these kids, but we don't. So I can only operate with the rules that we currently have, because, you know, I want Bryce to have the best college basketball career and the most options in his college basketball career long term, you know, whatever that looks like. And I just feel like, you know, throwing, you know, a kid with a lot of potential that's developing, he or Mobile, you know, a few garbage minutes. I mean, it might feel good now, but potentially, you know, down the line, it could be, you know, something you regret.
Do you think with Bryce particularly, could it, if you did that, maybe it takes a little pressure off him because of who he is and people wondering, is he going to play every day? And if you redshirt,
I've been very direct.
Yeah.
Redshirting's on the table for him. That's why he hasn't played in a game yet. Otherwise, he would be playing some minutes in some of these games, you know, especially at the end. We've had multiple conversations with Bryce about it, so I think we're on the same page. You know, again, no final decision's been made because you don't have to make a final decision. So why would I make a final decision? You know, but the decision as of now is to protect his opportunity to redshirt. That's the decision that's being made.
Coach, you kind of mentioned it, like, although they're not in this room, what was it like for Coach Murphy and your son Liam to reunite with NAU since they've had history?
I mean, it was great. You know, Shane and a few guys on his staff came up to my house last night, and, you know, we've developed a really good friendship over the years. I mean, Shane's a stand-up guy, and, you know, he's a guy's guy, and, you know, he's fun to be around. And, you know, I can just speak from personal experience. I mean, he did everything right by my son. And, you know, as a parent, you know, that you appreciate that. And as a coach, you respect that. So it was great. It was great. You know, I know, you know, Liam, you know, he's really happy to be kind of taking his next step in his career, you know, not playing anymore and testing out this coaching thing. And Shane was incredibly supportive of Liam and everything, you know, everything he did at NAU, everything he went through at NAU. So, you know, I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for Shane.
Coach, you know, going to LA now to